Two bottles can both say 5W30. Both can say fully synthetic. One may be exactly what your engine needs. The other can be completely wrong. And this is where thousands of British drivers get caught. They shop by viscosity and brand name, when the most important information can be a tiny manufacturer specification on the back of the bottle. And you might not discover the mistake until the DPF, timing system, or engine itself starts paying the price. There are 6 oil buying mistakes I would avoid completely, and 3 types of oil I'd happily pay extra for. The surprising part is that price is not what separates them. A 25-pound bottle can be the correct choice, and a 60-pound bottle can still be wrong. And on some modern engines, especially diesels with particulate filters, direct injection petrol engines, and certain belt-in oil designs, close enough is not a sensible oil strategy. The viscosity rating is a baseline. The first number and the W tell you how the oil flows at cold winter temperatures. The second number measures its classification at full operating temperature. That is useful data, but it tells the buyer absolutely nothing about the underlying additive package. It leaves out the ash content, the detergents, dispersants, wear protection, and the specific friction characteristics your engine requires. The phrase fully synthetic simply describes an aspect of the oil's formulation. It is a marketing category, not a universal certificate of compatibility for every modern car on the road. A driver sees terms like premium or advanced high performance and assumes that upgrading to a synthetic formula is automatically healthier for their vehicle. That conclusion is entirely backward. The correct sequence is straightforward. First, locate the exact specification required by your vehicle handbook. Second, find an oil that clearly states it satisfies that requirement. Only then do you compare brands and prices. Treating marketing adjectives as engineering specifications is exactly how ordinary car owners fall into the trap of installing an unsuitable fluid. For European cars, the foundation of engine protection relies heavily on ACEA performance categories. Different categories are engineered around entirely different mechanical demands. Modern exhaust aftertreatment equipment dictates these chemical demands. To protect these emission systems, certain oils must be formulated with lower levels of specific ash-forming components, known as low SAPS oils. Certain protective additives in high SAPS oils leave behind a permanent ash residue when the oil is inevitably consumed in small amounts during combustion. A particulate filter can effectively burn off normal soot during a regeneration cycle. It cannot burn away ash. Over thousands of miles, an inappropriate oil guarantees that ash permanently suffocates the filter. Many drivers still associate this risk exclusively with diesels, but modern direct injection petrol engines are now frequently fitted with petrol particulate filters, meaning they share the exact same chemical vulnerability. Never try to guess an upgrade or downgrade between ACEA categories like C2, C3, or C5, purely because the viscosity on the bottle matches your manual. Choosing the wrong category to save a few pounds on a service is a mathematically terrible trade. You exchange a small discount for a filter replacement that costs hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. Certain modern engines use a timing belt designed to operate continuously submerged in engine oil. The rubber and fluid are constantly exposed.
Utilizing an oil with an incorrect chemical specification in these engines can quietly degrade, swell, and dissolve the belt material, sending debris straight into the oil pickup. Small turbocharged direct injection petrol engines face an entirely different threat: low-speed pre-ignition, or LSPI. This is an abnormal and violently destructive combustion event occurring at low speeds and high loads. Modern oil standards include stringent tests specifically formulated to suppress LSPI. Pouring in an outdated oil specification bypasses this vital protection. Which brings us to the 6 buying mistakes. Avoid scenario number 1 is using close enough oil left on the garage shelf from another vehicle. Your garage shelf is not a compatibility database. Avoid number 2 is selecting the wrong low ash or high ash oil, actively ignoring the requirements of your specific aftertreatment system. Avoid number 3 is buying heavily discounted oil from a dubious seller where origin cannot be verified. Counterfeit products destroy engines rapidly. Avoid number 4 is trusting excessive, unverified claims from a universal oil listing. Never rely purely on a marketplace seller copying keywords into a product title.
Avoid number 5 is the mystery synthetic bottle containing almost no traceable technical information, missing data sheets, missing standards, and missing company contact details. Avoid number 6 is purchasing an oil solely because it shows the right viscosity, while failing to confirm the required manufacturer specification. Saving 10 or 15 pounds on unverifiable oil makes absolutely no sense when the mechanical components relying on it cost thousands of pounds sterling to replace. The danger is not always immediate engine destruction. The danger comes from accepting convenience and marketing hype over the hard data required to keep complex systems running. Inspecting a used car on a forecourt, ask what oil was used. An invoice saying only oil and filter leaves you in the dark. Seeing the specific grade and approval documented on the service records has immense value. It allows you to adjust your risk assessment regarding hitting wet belt deterioration or DPF abuse. This points directly to the 3 things worth paying for. Number 3 is a reputable product from an established lubricant manufacturer that clearly carries the exact specification your vehicle requires. Number 2 is paying a moderate premium to secure the correct OEM-specific oil for an engine with known sensitivities. If a complex turbo petrol or built-in oil engine requires a highly specific standard, do not experiment to save a tiny amount. And number 1 is the correct oil bought from a traceable source and changed at a sensible interval. The most expensive oil in the world cannot undo years of neglected servicing. Repeated short urban journeys, fuel dilution, and cheap, incorrectly fitted filters will cause failures regardless of what brand you pour into the sump. Consistent maintenance with the correct filter and verified specifications outweighs blind loyalty to an expensive label every single time. The most important word on an oil bottle is not necessarily synthetic. The biggest brand name isn't always the answer. Start with the specification your engine requires, then choose a reputable product that genuinely meets it. If 2 bottles are both 5W30, but only one carries the approval your engine requires, they are not equivalent just because the front labels look similar. Oil is cheap compared with engines. Buy by specification, not by advertising.